Ah, there you are. Spare a moment for a chit-chat? If we've had this conversation already, then I wanted to thank you for the useful advice. But if I haven't seen you since our talk at that mysterious gravestone, which seems much more likely, then I could really use your help. Did I mention the dreams? Visions, really? They come and go without warning, like seeing through someone else's eyes. Quite disconcerting in an interesting sort of way. Anyway, my trusty shovel and I, we searched that entire grave, and it was gone. The betrayer's head, the dreams, the visions, they drew me there, but someone got to it before I did. I have the strangest sensation in the pit of my tummy. It could be the cobweb porridge I had for breakfast, or something bad is about to happen. Well, that's sort of like leaping from the cliffs of failure without a rope, or at least without tying the end off first. I can't tell you how many times I've made that mistake. Oh, Abner wants to see you. He's in the town hall with the cat general. Don't worry on my account. Intrepid knights such as ourselves can't be rattled by a turbulent tummy, or even by dragons or visions, I dare say. Now, off you go. Abner hates to be kept waiting. He's also not fond of being called Abner, or so he says.
At this point, we need to come up with a plan that takes into account Euraxians, necromancers, and dragons. I proposed a few options, but Gareshri wasn't sold on any of them. Tell me, what of Chimera and the source of the undead? You paint a troubling picture, my friend. Still, we need to celebrate every victory we achieve. I fear such triumphs will be few and far between. Do you have anything else to report? My half-sister likes to think that she's in charge. She won't take kindly to being called a puppet. As for leaving Elsweyr, I think not. Obviously this Mulamnir fears us. Otherwise the dragon wouldn't have deigned to talk to you. Every conversation I have with Cadwell makes my head throb, but one mystery at a time, if you please. Now, if only I could get my half-sister to listen to reason and see that the dragons are using her. A parley? I may not like her, but we are family. Besides, it would give the Khajiit time to regroup. You're beginning to think like a Tharn, my friend. Here, take this. Gareshri gave it to me, but I refuse to accept payment for my services. A parley with Euraxia is a capital idea. I'll send word to Rimmon to expect us. I imagine my half-sister will treat us as befits my station and agree to the meeting. Attend to any other matters if you must, then see me when you're ready to leave. It just so happens I already have one. It involves distracting my half-sister with wit, charm, and words she barely comprehends. Oh, and you. Euraxia never could resist a pretty face. You'll pretend to be my bodyguard and personal valet. Consider it obfuscation to hide your true purpose. We don't want to give Euraxia a reason to react poorly to overtures of reconciliation. Not that I expect to reach an accord, but still. Meet me in Rimmon and we'll enter the palace together. Go on, go on. I'm capable of traveling to Rimmon on my own. We'll meet up at the city gates and go to the palace from there. I'm relatively certain Euraxia will honor the parley, but be prepared for anything. She's still a Tharn, after all. We're not very close, in case I haven't made that abundantly clear. Euraxia is an accomplished mage in her own right. My younger sibling has always been ambitious, but I didn't realize the extent of her aspirations until the Frostfall coup. About 6 years ago or so, While Emperor Varen was busy with his rebellion, Euraxia took advantage of the confusion to lead a column of Nibonese mercenaries into northern Elsweyr. She declared herself Queen of Rimmon and its adjacent fiefs. Of course not. The Khajiit called her the Usurper Queen, remember? Once Varen became Emperor, he had other problems to worry about. Same with Queen Irene. As long as the Alliance War occupies her forces, the Khajiit are on their own out here.
This one hates the idea of talking to the Usurper Queen. We should be stabbing her in the neck. Still, Nalado sees the necessity, even if she doesn't like it. Euraxia will almost certainly betray you, so be careful when you face her, yes? By marching into Elsweyr with a mercenary army and slaughtering our rightful Khajiiti rulers. Not only did the usurper slay our king and queen, she murdered the rest of the royal family. Her crimes, they swarm around her like flesh flies on dung.
A parley with the usurper queen. I doubt she'll agree to any sort of diplomatic solution. But it will buy us time to replenish our resources. Very well. Take Tharn and meet with Euraxia. In the meantime, we will rebuild what remains of the militia. She marched into Anequina with a mercenary army and conquered Rimmon. Her forces killed the royal family, and she illegally proclaimed herself queen. That makes her a usurper. I pray I live to see her pay for her crimes.
We don't have a choice, Izanji.
And what? You expect us to just stroll into an Akaviri crypt? Be reasonable.
Well, if we don't recover those mural pieces, who will? Welcome to the House of Histories. You'll find no grander collection of curiosities and memorabilia in all of Elsweyr. I would offer you a tour, but we're currently investigating a most unfortunate theft. An ancient mural called the Ridana di Renada, otherwise known as the Song of Kingdoms. It chronicles the time when Elsweyr was 16 united kingdoms working in harmony. Unfortunately, it was shattered when the kingdoms entered into conflict. Yes, into exactly 16 pieces. My brother and I found and restored each and every one. And then, just as we were about to put all the pieces together again, they were stolen. Who would even do such a thing? Thank you for offering to help. Oddly enough, the thief did leave a note mentioning a grave of snake men. I suspect it refers to the tomb of the serpents, an old Akaviri crypt. Hopefully that is where you will find the missing pieces. Yes, it is. But that clue is all we have at the moment. It actually reminds me of the old Khajiiti legend, Rajin and a Trail of Ink. Perhaps our thief is a fan of the trickster god. Wouldn't be too surprising. He was a renowned thief who possessed the Ring of Khajiiti, which allowed him to be invisible, silent, and quick. He ascended to become an immortal trickster god and patron to thieves. Rajin and the Trail of Ink is but one of his many legends. Many moons ago, when Rajin was still but a thief and not yet a god, he met a beautiful soldier named Captain Nasuna. He was captivated by Nasuna's beauty and skill, but she scorned all of his advances. So, Rajin set out to woo her. Nasuna guarded a merchant's estate. 5 times Rajin entered this estate, stealing an item and hiding it elsewhere. He left clues behind for the captain, daring her to recover what he stole. And each time she prevailed, for she was as clever as he. Rajin was proving himself. By stealing these items, he showed his cunning. By hiding them away, he showed his honor. By leaving clues, he showed his respect. And it worked. Nasuna was won over and agreed to be his lover. As I've said, many thieves wish to emulate the great Rajin. Leaving clues at the scene of the crime is one way to demonstrate their cleverness. Perhaps it is so with whoever stole the mural. Let us hope. The Rithana di Rinala was created during a time of peace between the 16 kingdoms. It represented the unity of the Khajiiti people. The peace between the kingdoms did not last. The mural was shattered into 16 pieces, one for each kingdom. But no one knows how it was so perfectly broken. Was it the clan leaders? Perhaps punishment from divine spirits? It is all a mystery. Elsweyr faces many dangers now. More than ever, the Khajiit must band together. I hoped that the Rithana di Renada would inspire just that. After all, it represents a time when all Khajiit lived in harmony.
You have agreed to help us. Oh, thank John and Jode. Patrons have been few and far between of late. We need that mural if the House of Histories is to keep its doors open.
your sword, outsider. You already belong to the Akaderi.
Not so fast, Walker. Rachin would first have a word with you. So, you have found the first piece of the Rithana di Renata. Impressive. But Rachin can't help but wonder if you have patience enough to find the other 15. After all, he has hidden them very well. This one is the shadow of Rachin. Well, a shadow of Rachin. There are 7 of us, all told. Surely you have heard of Rachin, yes? Elsweyr's greatest thief, whose crimes were so fabulous he became divine. This one is but an avatar of his greatness. Do you expect a truthful answer? What kind of trickster do you take this one for? Here, let us make a deal. If you find all the pieces, each and every one, Rachin will consider sharing his motivations. Only then. Of course, Rachin will provide clues. What fun would it be otherwise? 15 clues to find 15 pieces. Collect them all and restore Rithana di Renata, which was thought just a legend. Sound exciting, Walker? Here then, a book for your convenience. Is not Rachin kind? Ah, and one other thing. Outside help is strictly forbidden. Iraya might have solved this one's first clue, but the rest are up to you. A trickster, a hero, and an ancient mural. Just the recipe for a grand adventure, no? Ah, but this one is most excited to see it unfold. This one is but a shadow of the great Rachin, trickster god to the Khajiiti people. It was he who gained the power of the Ring of Khajiiti, which made him invisible to all and quick as the wind. He who stole both treasures and hearts alike. Of course! How else was this one supposed to get your attention, Walker? Ah, but Rachin says too much. After all, he has already promised to reveal his motivations after you've collected all the mural pieces. Why, you have Rachin's Book of Riddles, do you not? Each verse will let you know where a certain piece of the Rithana di Renata can be found. Well, this one is feeling rather generous today. Rachin will let you know that every piece lies in northern Elsweyr. The more you explore, the more likely you are to find them. By the way, if you see Pakruti, tell him he still owes this one a pouch of gold.
Ah, you've returned. Let us speak. Greetings, greetings. Were you able to find the missing mural pieces? If you want to pull my tail, you could at least try a bit harder than that. Really, what would Rajin's shadow want with the Rithana de Renada? It might have historical significance, but it's certainly not a prize worthy of the trickster god. Sure, sure. Just let me know if you meet John and Jode next, yes? We could use some brighter moons. Why don't you just place the mural piece back in its frame? Iraya should return shortly. You can speak to her about the other missing pieces.
Our neighbors saw nothing, of course. Oh, you found one of the pieces! I see you've collected a missing piece. Slick work. Now, if we only had clues for the other 15 pieces, makes finding them particularly difficult for us, no? Rajin's shadow? I'll be honest, that's a lot to take in. But after all you've done for us, how can I not offer you the benefit of the doubt? Feel free to place any mural pieces that you find, and here, something for your troubles. To think that the Rithana de Renada was snatched away by Rajin's shadow. Never would I have thought that to be the case. Good luck finding the rest of the pieces. My brother and I will pray for your swift success. Think that the Rithana de Renada was snatched? Of course! What would you like to know?
Why a sleepy town like Riverhold would need an investigator, I'll never know. And yet Mystic Thunderboots has set himself up in the Banished Regrets, just raring to solve a case. Pfft, what a fool.
Bazdal has been confined in Rimmen for far too long. He needs open fields to stretch and run. Instead, he is forced to walk crowded city streets.
I expected sorrow and despair, but the situation here goes beyond even my prophetic inklings. On the surface, yes, but peace through tyranny provides false harmony. Euraxia uses fear and threats of violence to keep the Khajiit in line, making them second-class citizens in their own province. It appalls me to think Euraxia and I are related. It would be better if I showed you. Follow me, and I'll demonstrate the true depths of my half-sister's villainy. Her grip on Rimmen is far tighter than it appears. Very well. But what I'm about to show you isn't for the faint of heart. Follow me. Have you ever visited a Rimmen workhouse? They treat the Khajiiti workers worse than slaves. It's that building over there. For most of Rimmen's Khajiit, it's the only job available to them. The workhouse serves to snare the poor and the destitute, those who fall behind on their debts. They come here to find employment and earn a decent wage, but the costs deducted to pay for room and board leave them worse off than they were before. One of the first things Euraxia did after declaring herself queen was to institute tariffs and fines that apply only to Khajiiti citizens. No one else needs the workhouse. A cruel tactic, but effective. The Rimmen Khajiit? No. Any complaints incur fines for causing a public disturbance or some other inane ordinance. No one wants to risk falling even further into debt. It's ingenious. Monstrous, but ingenious. Oh, Euraxia is clever. She pays the Khajiiti, and the workhouse isn't technically a prison. On the surface, it appears to be a place that helps society's unfortunates, but underneath, it's slavery without any of the uncomfortable trappings. Now, let's visit the Rimmen marketplace. Take a look around. Business seems to be thriving, but appearances can be deceiving.
Nakiri has traveled to many places, seen many lands, but it is in Rimmen that he has finally decided to rest his weary bones. Fortunate for you, no?
It may be hard to see, but the Khajiiti merchants struggle to keep their stalls open, while the less bestial business people rake in the profits. Euraxia would have you believe it's a matter of work ethic, but we know better. Unfairly doesn't begin to cover it. Khajiiti merchants must deal with high tariffs, extra inspection fees, costly licenses. Euraxia's squeezing them for every piece of gold imaginable. She even instituted a fur tax. On the surface, it seems reasonable to make Khajiiti pay for extra inspections to ensure their fur isn't getting into the products they sell. And while they do shed, it's just another way to discriminate against the rightful citizens of this land. Come along. I want to show you the improvements Euraxia made to the palace walls. See the trebuchets? Notice how they're aimed into the city below. See how the siege weapons sit upon the walls? When it comes right down to it, you're looking at the secret of my half-sister's success. How else do you think Euraxia maintains order and keeps the Elsweyr defense force at bay? She declared publicly, and has repeated often, that any attempt to liberate Rimmon will see her unleash the full fury of the siege weapons upon the city. If Euraxia can't have Rimmon, then neither can anyone else. She'd destroy the city in a heartbeat if she thought she was in danger of losing control. Of course, she tells her non-bestial subjects that only the Khajiit districts are targeted. Absolutely not. But the lie makes her supporters feel better. The Khajiit know that even a peaceful protest could result in the destruction of Rimmon. So far, no one has dared to challenge Euraxia's will in this matter, and for good reason. When we get to the palace, let me do the talking. As the Elder Tharn, I'll demonstrate my dominance over Euraxia and negotiate a cessation of hostilities.
Here come Queen Euraxia's guests now.
I don't like the looks of these meddlers. I say we feed them to the dragons and be done with it. I know you. I saw you through the soul-shriven's eyes. You were with the fool who thinks himself the shining knight of Sirad. If only he knew what a monster I was. The horrors of Cold Harbor pale before my heinous deeds. I am my own head, yes. I am the hero of Sirad and the villain of Elsweyr, the champion of the Third Nedic massacre and the dark knight they call the Betrayer. Of course not. I am the genuine article, much more real than a disembodied soul given shape in the flesh cauldrons of oblivion. But why do you presume to talk to me? I have killed greater beings than you for much, much less. Came to that conclusion by yourself, did you? That's what they called me. There's a certain ring to it, but I always preferred my more grandiose titles. Champion, Slayer, Dark Knight. When I am made whole, the cats will pay for what they did to me.
So you're Abner Tharn's bodyguard and valet. Not what I expected. I assume you want to follow your master into the Queen's inner sanctum, huh? I'll allow it. But first, I want to gauge the measure of your marrow. I am Queen Euraxia's chief necromancer. You may call me Zumog Foom. The other grave callers answer to me. And this is my familiar and confidant, Sir Cadwell the Betrayer. Ah, yes. The Betrayer saw you when it looked through the soul-shriven's eyes. The creature you know is a pale shadow of the dark knight that once walked these lands. I exhumed his remains and reanimated him. Well, his head, it was all I could find. My actions don't concern you. I just wanted to meet Abner Tharn's lackey and determine if Queen Euraxia had anything to fear. The answer is quite clear. Your insignificance rivals that of the soul-shriven fool, which makes you eminently forgettable.
Now about the rest of my body, O pestilent one.
Your insults won't hasten the process, Betrayer.
but there's a terrible draft in what used to be my nether regions.
Presenting Abner Tharn, Grand Chancellor and Overlord of Nibonay, Imperial Battle Mage of the Elder Council, and Patriarch of the Tharn Dynasty, and his bodyguard.
Ah, half-brother. Your arrival, it's so unexceptional.
Pretending to be a queen...
Hush, Abner, you bore me. Bodyguard, you look interesting. Come talk to me.
You heard her. Good luck.
My sources indicated that my half-brother's associate was somewhat taller. Oh well. Now, why in the world should I even consider negotiating with members of the losing side? A warning? How thoughtful. You do know that I defeated the Khajiiti army and took control of the Rimmon throne? I am no one's puppet, I assure you. But why do you suppose I have anything to do with dragons? Bold words for a common valet. I hoped my half-brother would provide an amusement, but this is so much better. Let me tell you what happens next. I lock you in my dungeons and do the most interesting things to your body until you die painfully. Do not attempt to sway me with your silver tongue. Mulamnir and I have a special relationship, an understanding. The dragons will secure my hold over Elsweyr, and there's nothing you or my pathetic half-brother can do to stop them. Enough! Zumog Foom, what news do you bring?
The Desert Wind Adaptorium has fallen. We move against Riverhold on your word.
Then the word is given. Now, half-brother.
Treachery? How could I ever have anticipated this?
Guards, take them to the dungeons.
I think not. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. I prepared for Euraxia's probable betrayal. Unfortunately, my teleport spell wasn't quite able to penetrate the palace wards, so we wound up down here, in the palace sewer. We heard two things of note. First, Euraxian forces have invaded the Desert Wind Adaptorium for some insidious purpose. And second, my vile half-sister ordered an attack on Riverhold. One thing at a time, my companion, one thing at a time. I need to recover my strength after teleporting us into this skeever hole. I'll need your help to get out of here. Then we can deal with both Desert Wind and Riverhold.
rats in the sea, just as the queen...
The way out, finally. I can't abide another moment in this stench. Well, that's an experience I won't be adding to my memoirs. We'll separate here. Make it harder for Euraxia's lackeys to follow us. Now. Things actually turned out better than I expected. We know that Euraxia wants something from the Desert Wind Adeptorium, and we know she's about to launch a counter-strike against Riverhold. That's not exactly true. If my power wasn't depleted... Well, let's not digress. I'll go to Riverhold and warn Garishri. We'll make sure the city is ready for the attack. Meanwhile, you find out what's happening at the Desert Wind Adeptorium. Adeptoriums serve the same function as monasteries in other parts of Tamriel. Desert Wind and its adepts are dedicated to the Jan Kaj, literally the Order of the Desert Wind. Note that it has numerous entrances, in case the main door is blocked.
Seal the gates. Let no Euraxian enter this holy place.
Invaders! This one will not allow you to enter this holy place. You do not look like one of the Usurper Queen's soldiers. Who are you, and what are you doing down here? The Speaker of the Main sent you? This one expected we were on our own, what with the dragons and the battles to the north. Zamorak came down here to seal this path, but now he thinks the Uraxians seek the Grand Adept. Desert Wind holds many Khajiit secrets, and the keeper of those secrets is the Grand Adept. If you truly want to help, follow Zamorak to the Grand Adept's chambers. Nine Winds, no! Get to the door! Go! Save the Grand Adept! Go! This one will find another way inside.
You're too late. The Grand Adept revealed all before I killed her. This can't be happening! Help me! Don't let Zumog Foom take my soul! Zumog Foom! This is the Necromancer's doing. Even in death, I continue to serve. He called it a blessing. Said it would protect me. Damn it! He claimed my soul! Please, you must help me. Release me from this curse! We came for an ancient secret, protected by the Grand Adept. She put up a good fight, I'll give her that. Zumog Foom seeks the location of the betrayer's body parts. I learned where the dismembered corpse was hidden. Now, please, help me!
You are wrong. The secret belongs to me. What the Battle Mage knew in life, she whispers to me in death. Soon Riverhold will fall, and the betrayer will be restored.
Let the fourth wind open the way. Grand Adept! No! Zamorak has failed. This one was too slow. Again. What has happened here? Who killed the Grand Adept? Zamorak thanks you for avenging the Grand Adept. But why did they attack this peaceful Adeptorium? Why kill a harmless old student of the Desert Winds? The Usurper Queen made a mistake when she had the Grand Adept killed. Whatever they came to find had an unintended consequence. It has roused the students of the Desert Winds. Zamorak pledges the Adepts to Gareshri's cause. Euraxia will fall. We are not many, but we are strong. The Adepts of the Desert Wind will aid the city. Zamorak will see you there, after he makes sure the Grand Adept receives the proper blessings.
I informed Garesh-Ri and Chimera about what happened in Rimmon. They're mobilizing our remaining forces even as we speak. Now, tell me, what did you learn at the Desert Wind Adeptorium? I often wondered who Cadwell was before he became a soul shriven. I know the tales of the betrayer, but I never equated the two. The Cadwell we know is so not that. We'll deal with Zumog Foom after we save Riverhold. Anything else to report? Well, that's a bit of welcome news. Many of the adepts have remarkable martial skills that we could surely make use of. Speaking of which, are you ready to help defend the city? For now, recover your strength and prepare yourself. Euraxia's forces will arrive soon, and we'll need you ready for the battle to come. And here, take this. Garish Ree keeps handing me pouches, but I have little use for Khajiiti gold. Multiple Cadwells, necromancers, dragons, and now Euraxian soldiers marching on Riverhold. This day just keeps getting better and better. Regardless, there's much to do and not a lot of time to do it. Yes, but Garish Ree's scouts report that they're on their way. Our parley seems to have aroused Euraxia's anger. What remains of Elsweyr's militia has taken up positions around town, but I fear they are too few in number. They need your help. Garish Ree has placed the defense of the city in Chimera's hands. She moves the Desert Wind adepts, every volunteer she could muster, and what remains of the militia like pieces on a game board. Report to her, and she'll give you your orders. Find Chimera outside and see what she requires. Euraxian soldiers will soon reach Riverhold. When that happens, all oblivion will break loose.
I sent Chimera out to coordinate the city's defenses while Tharn and I continue to refine our strategy. Can we hold this city, or should we fall back? I hope the battle mage can pull a miracle out of his ear, but we cannot count on that. Chimera knows Riverhold and its people well. Her training has prepared her for this. She is more than capable of organizing our defenses and converting our strategies into actionable tactics. She is very good at getting things done. When Euraxia first conquered our home, she occupied the entire upper tier of northern Elsweyr, from Riverhold to Rimmen. It took many years and much blood to retake the northwest and confine her to Rimmen. I have no doubt she will attack. It won't be easy, but our strategy is sound and Chimera excels at executing tactics. Between Captain Nalado's remaining warriors and the Desert Wind adepts you brought, we should have the forces we need, provided Euraxia does not send a dragon.